Hi guys, I'm Mr. Razor and welcome to my channel. For the first time compared to my other previous month spreads, I will be inking in my spreads and explaining the whole setup as I go here. The reason why I didn't do the previous setups was simply because I had already had them inked in before I started filming. For those of you that might be new, I focus on very minimal spreads, and so I hope you enjoy my setup. And bear with me as I go over explain the process, as this is also my first time doing a voiceover and I don't exactly know how I'm going to exactly match the video as it comes, but I hope I can time it right. So now with the first page, after the last week of November, I won't be inking in the doodles, as all of that is just stuff on the side of the setup and is completely optional. Anyway, with the font, I tend to like to change it up for each month and use it to set a new style to each month. This month I went with small and long stemmed letters, as can easily be seen with the long stem with the B in December, and with the rest being nice small letters. Everything is also nice and spaced in their grids. So there's that. And now with the December calendar spread, again, it's very simple. Same kind of, I carry the same font throughout the whole month spread, so the December is very similar. And with the grid, with the pens that I used a thicker pen, which was the 0.7 millimeter, or I actually had to switch off to the 0.8 one because my 0.7 one kind of began running out of ink. But yeah, so I put a thicker edge on the outside of the calendar, and I will be using, I also used a thinner tip for, I used the 0.5 millimeter for the inner grid section. And now to letter in the days of the week, I go down actually to a 0.1 millimeter, or a 0.3 millimeter would also work, depending on how bold you want the letters to be. And so I use this pen to fill in the days of the week and the numbers of the days of the month, and also the note section at the bottom. And so now with the trackers, just like my other months, I started with a sleep tracker, and then I'll be moving on to the mood tracker, and then the same kind of habit trackers that I use for November. Again, following the very similar same spread setup as my November. Of course, I carry on now the same font that I used for the whole entire December spread. The only main little changes that I made were with like the mood tracker. In the November one, I kind of did all like the edges. I still did like the squares, but the edges were a lot more round. Here I kept it more of a square space with just a little bit of round on the edge, to still kind of match with like the very edgy but then smooth around the still smooth edges, like the font. And that also goes for the habit trackers at the bottom, in which same thing with the habit trackers. I also used rounded edges, and again, like the monthly calendar grid, I used a thicker pen for the edges and then a thinner pen for the grids in the center. And so also for the positive, negative, and the part of the mood tracker, along with the check yes or X no of the habit tracker. I was also thinking possibly for, since this is December, that I could use green for the positive or the yes, and red for the no or the negative, just to like kind of fit with a little bit of color for Christmas. And then the meh, just for the mood tracker, I would probably just leave it blank with, and just put a line through it, just like normal. So here for the songs page, I carried over the December, the font that I've been using so far, and with the notes at the top, I kind of did those to also match this style of the font, nice and just the small notes and like the long stem to the notes. And then compared to my previous months, I changed up the playlist a bit. Of course, there are always different songs, with a few that carry over for each month, but mainly this time, instead of using a list, I kind of use like this little playlist, I mean not playlist, but like a play rectangle, with the play, the rewind, and the fast forward button under the title of the song and the author, and then the line in between for showing, of course, when the song's playing. I thought that it looked pretty nice, and it still keeps it pretty simple. Yep, so that's that. And now moving on to the brain dump. It's again very simple, carrying over the December font at the top, but then still keeping the bottom open just for bullet points to list down just random thoughts throughout the month. And now moving on to the weekly spreads. I don't do dailies, I just do the weekly spreads for the whole month all at once. And I keep it very simple. Once again, carrying on over the December font, listing the days of the week down with a small section at the bottom for notes. And then I draw a line from after the day of the week to the other end. That is definitely an optional thing. And as usual, I will always have my alternatives video in which I will be showing some slight adjustments in which you can use for this spread, all of course to your own needs and how you want to change it up a bit to how you like it. So again, this just carries throughout for the rest of my month spread. And there you have it. This is my Very simple and minimalist spreads in which I set up for my December month spreads. Very simple again, and of course a lot of this can be modified, especially with if you need more space for the weekly parts. You can always expand each section to how much you need and spread it across two pages or even more, depending on how much space you need. And yeah, very simple again. I really hope you enjoy this video, and remember to like and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. And don't forget to turn on that notification bell to know when I post up new content. And if you happen to have any friends who also like bullet journaling, plan to start, or need a fun, simple, and easy way to organize their life, I really appreciate it if you would share and spread the word about my channel. And yeah, once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.